Welcome, friends, to the Monday Manifest. Hello, everyone. Chaos Hand here. And in case you were wondering why I'm wearing the same shirt and I look basically exactly the same as last week's, it's because I am. This is 10 minutes after recording that previous session, and now we're recording the next one because I will actually be in Hawaii at this point in time, and therefore will not have access to my computer and other fancy things that actually allow me to make this stuff. So, this is a pre-recorded one that will go out next Monday. Granted, I could have probably not told you that, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway, but I figured I would. Yeah, so I'm gonna be on vacation, so I won't be streaming or anything. I will upload this video. Well, I might stream, like, IRL or something from my phone if it can handle it. I'll have to check it out when I get there. I'll have to do some stress testing. But when like video game streams and stuff, that's going to be offline for at least 2 weeks because I'll be in Hawaii for 10 days, and then I'll have a couple of days when I get back that I'm probably just gonna fuck around with some things, find some new incentives, and work on some other content and stuff. You know, nothing too crazy. Just stuff to look out for. Anyway, you're not here to listen to me talk about going on vacation or anything. You're here for the Monday Manifest. And strangely enough, even though it's only 10 minutes after the previous one, I already have a topic. I mean, I was suggested a couple of topics, but there were things that would take quite a bit of research. I'll probably get into those later, but for today, we're going to talk about Pokemon because, well, I mean, it's a pretty hot topic since Sword and Shield just came out. And as you guys know, if you've been on the internet at all, there's been a lot of negativity about the title. A lot of people basically witch hunting Game Freak and all that. And granted, there are some things that we were expecting to be a bit different in there, but honestly, I've played through the game. A lot of my other friends have played the game. Well, I haven't played through it. I'm only up to like the 5th badge. But honestly, I like it. Like, I'm totally fine with the changes they've made. And that's the thing is Pokemon has gone through so many iterations, added so many things, taken so many things out. Like, not of course not everybody's going to be happy. Not everybody's going to like it, but I feel like Sword and Shield have gotten a much worse they've gotten kind of the short end of the stick. And a lot of, granted, like the review sites, they fucking love it. And granted, I think it's a good game. I don't think it quite deserves like a 9.5 or 9.7 like rating. I don't know. Like, I mean, achieving anywhere near a 10 rating in any kind of like game rating system seems like it takes a lot of work. Granted, they're good games. You know, I probably wouldn't say they're like my favorite. They've made a lot of quality of life choices that have made things easier. A lot of people really hate the forced experience share. Kind of hoping a later update they make it so you can turn that on and off. But for me, I'm a casual player, so I'm not too worried about it. It works out for me. And honestly, I kind of like it because if I plan on swapping out team members, then I don't have to grind as hard to get them up to par. Plus, there's experience candies, and there's a lot of other things in the game that really make it a lot easier to kind of tailor your team to how you want them to be, like to the team you want, and have them up to level and up to speed pretty quick. So that kind of stuff I'm okay with. Some other people do not like it. The rating system I think is really cool. The online works as well as it needs to. Like, I've been able to trade cards, trade Pokemon, do max raids and stuff, and everything's been fine. So I personally have been enjoying it. I have Pokemon Sword. Actually, most of my friends got Pokemon Sword, or they got the 2-pack of Sword and Shield, which saved you all of $10. And I was like, I only really need one. I mean, honestly, I wasn't planning on getting it right away. Because I not that I knew I was going to get it. Like, I wasn't one of the people who thought the game was just going to be trash from the get-go. I was just like, I'll save my money and work towards other things, and then maybe I'll get it later. But then I saw how much fun all of my friends were having with it, and I was like, I really need to get this game. Plus, yeah, the different outfits and stuff are pretty cool, and the trainer card thing, because I have a fucking fantastic trainer card, which I will splash across the screen probably now to show you. It's fantastic, and I've decided that I need to find pink plaid pants and gloves because it's pretty awesome. Granted, I can't really wear skinny jeans, but it's okay. You know what? I could always work on that. Maybe one day I'll wear skinny jeans. I don't know. At this point, I'd probably destroy them. But granted, they did take some stuff out. But I mean, Wonder Trading's still there. It's just called Surprise Trade now. I mean, there's still the online trading system. So a few things changed, like the Poke Ami thing. They changed that. Now it's just like a big old field with all of your Pokemon, which is pretty awesome, to be honest. Although sometimes it can be hard to get the attention of specific ones, because some of them are really slow, and some of them just really want your attention. Or it just looks like they're trying to kill you, even though they love you a lot, apparently. But yeah, I mean, definitely since its inception, Pokemon has gone through many, many changes. The very first Pokemon game I played was Pokemon Blue, which was like, honestly, those games were fairly revolutionary for the time. I mean, I know Digimon came out around the same time, but I was more of a Pokemon kid. Like, I never really got into Digimon. I have nothing against it. I mean, there's a lot of games that pass over me, or animes and stuff like that. Not because I didn't like them, but just because I went one way and I only had so much time to spend on one thing, and kids' attention spans and all that. But yeah, and I had Blue and I fucking loved it, and I took full advantage of the missing number glitch to get a bajillion rare candies and level the shit out of everyone, and also like pump them full of protein and calcium and carbos and all that. But honestly, my personal favorite, even though it's still an older one, is second gen. Silver, Gold, and Crystal. I actually had Crystal version. My brother and sister had Gold and Silver. And then, so when they remade that for DS, I was like, this is awesome, because they brought it, up to speed with the National Index and all that. And it looked really nice, and you could have Lugia follow you around. That was pretty cool. But later iterations, I don't know. Like, I really didn't like Black and White 2. Like, the story was just kind of eh. Granted, Pokemon's never really had a super in-depth story. It's basically been, hey, you're a kid who needs to go on a Pokemon adventure, and you end up toppling whatever evil force there happens to be at the time, and then beat the Elite Four and the champion, and possibly any extra people that happen to be there along the way. And then you're the champion. Yay! And then after that, you try to catch them all. I don't think I've ever actually completed a Pokedex in any generation, to be perfectly honest. And the further you got on, the harder it was, because Jesus Christ, we're up to almost 900 Pokemon. That was the biggest thing that people had against Sword and Shield, was the fact that they cut the Pokedex in half, I believe. Maybe more than half. I don't know. But seriously, 900 that's too many. Jesus. I mean, I know Pokemon's a collectathon, and people love shit like that. They eat it up. I get it. I like collecting them and stuff too. But that's just too damn many. And you know what? I just realized something. I haven't used captions for this video or the previous one. You know what? It's fine. I think YouTube actually has its own captioner thing. So it's whatever. If you want the captions back, tell me in the comments below. But for right now, I don't know. I think this works out okay. I think it's fine. But shit, what the fuck was I saying? But yeah, no, the Pokedex, like, I'm okay. There's still a lot of Pokemon in there. Granted, a whole lot of people were mad because Squirtle and Bulbasaur are not, but Charmander is, because what's his bro's got a Charizard? Maybe it was the most popular. I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't know exactly what Game Freak was like planning when they came up with that, but to me, to be perfectly honest, and I've told people this before, and probably a lot of people don't like this idea, but Sword and Shield, if anything, is more of a precursor for things to come, because at this point, they have the groundworks down. They still have a full game, But there is a possibility that the next game could indeed have everything in it now that they've already got all the sprites for these ones all figured out. They could fill it up with the rest of them and then figure out, because the animations were what like pissed a whole lot of people off. But granted, they did change, a lot of animations, just not all of them. And people were like calling them liars, and I'm like, it's still a different platform. Like the DS, the 3DS, those were like steps. And they all happened a few years after each other, and they were all in a very similar like archetype. The Switch is completely different from the 3DS and DS, so obviously it's going to take more work. And I'm not going to say that they're like without fault. There were some things they promised that didn't happen, but I mean, still, there's a lot going on, and Game Freak is not a huge company, by any means. It really hasn't changed that much, I think, since the inception. But yeah, if you asked me about like the other generations, though, man, I know all about Gen 1. I know all about Gen 2. Gen 3 I got into super late, so I don't remember most of that. I think that was Ruby and Sapphire, and that was the one with Kyogre the whale and that other guy that starts with a G. I'm really bad with stuff like that. Like I said, I'm a very casual player, so even going through Sword and Shield, people were in stream like, "Oh, that's a that," and I'm like, I don't know, like especially because the Galarian versions are different than the other versions. Like they swap around the types and stuff, just like what they did with the Alolan versions. So, but I'm just like, oh, I'm just here to learn and do whatever. Like, and I mean, one thing the game does make very easy for you is figuring out type matchups, because once you've already fought something and it's recorded in the Pokedex, any move that's super effective or not effective is listed in your moveset, which to some people, they're like, this makes the game too easy. But I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's stuff you'd know anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, and in all essence, Pokemon is still aimed at kids. Granted, as adults, we can enjoy it because we've enjoyed it through most of our lives. Like, Pokemon has been around for a long time. So I'm not going to say don't play it. Like, look at me. I'm 31 years old, and I'm playing Pokemon. I fucking love it. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, there is no age restriction on fun. If you enjoy something, you enjoy it. That's just how it goes. Like, I still like watching anime and stuff. I'll probably enjoy watching anime until I fucking die. Like, getting older doesn't automatically make some things less fun for you. And Pokemon, like, that's, a lot of people enjoy it. Younger people, older people, it's a pretty relaxing game. Although when I stream it, I curse a lot. But I always curse a lot while streaming. It's okay. It's totally fine. It's natural. But yeah, overall, Sword and Shield. Well, I haven't played Shield, but I mean, come on, it's the same thing as Sword, except for the legendary is different, and some of the stuff. And also, you get a special Ponyta in Shield, and in Sword, you get Sw+Sh, which he's pretty awesome. I didn't know he was gonna be fighting type. Also, I'm sorry, I keep like scratching my nose, but it's very itchy. But yeah. I mean, there's like a couple other things. Like if you got the dual pack, apparently there were codes for like special Giga attacks, Pokemon forms, or something. I don't know. Like like I said, I'm a very casual player. There's a lot of things I don't know, but I'm just kind of like, well, as long as I can get through the game and have an understanding of what's going on, that's good enough for me. And Sword and Shield are definitely solid additions to the Pokemon franchise, I would say. And like I said, they are also feel like they're a groundwork of better things to come as well. Because I don't know, everybody probably has their favorite generation, or they think one thing's better than this, or that, or you have the nostalgia pullers that are like, well, the original's still the best because it was the hardest, blah blah blah. I don't know. Like, quality of life changes shouldn't really be that big of an issue, but they are to some people. It's kind of like, oh, I have a friend that plays WoW, and she plays WoW Classic as well, and if she watches this video, she'll know that I'm talking about her. Of course, I'm not going to say her name out here. I'm not like calling her out or anything, but it was just funny because she got into an argument with another guy who was playing WoW Classic because he was basically like, she said that she liked traditional WoW, not WoW, whatever, traditional, basically new WoW, I guess, like current WoW. And the guy was just like shitting all over her opinion and basically just saying that she just fucking loved whatever over classic. She's like, no, I didn't say that. And he basically proceeded to say that because he suffered in WoW Classic, everybody else should suffer through WoW. And it's just like, wow, that's a horrible outlook to have on life and just in general. So the thing is, quality of life stuff is for everybody. If you don't like it, well, I mean, it kind of sucks, but progress is progress. And yes, Pokemon has gotten much easier since its inception because there were a lot of quality of life things that they improved. Like, well, they had a bicycle in the original one, but having more like hotkeys for stuff, having an easier time to figure out what something's weakness is, like having more experience share, because before, experience share literally just worked on one Pokemon and then the Pokemon holding it. And then I think later on they turned it on into a key item that did split the experience between all Pokemon in the group. I can't remember which one that was in, because like I said, I've played through all of the Pokemon games, but it's been like over the years, so I'm not going to remember every little bit of the nitty gritty on those things. But yeah, I mean, quality of life improvements are just that. They're quality of life improvements. If you don't enjoy them, then I don't know what else to say, because most of the time you can't turn those things off. They're just kind of there. So, but like I said, I have been enjoying Sword and Shield quite a bit. Well, Sword, but like I said, they're basically the same. Like I have had no issues other than, well, the only issue I have is the fact that your rival always fucking stops to talk to you. Like I don't know. I should have made a counter on my stream of how many times he's just like stopped me to talk when I'm like trying to go somewhere, because it's probably pretty high right now. Like I don't really have much of an issue with his archetype, like the kind of character he is and stuff like that, his character development, which is kind of happening, but I don't like being interrupted like every few minutes to be like, hey, let's do this and this, because I'm like, I just want to like progress through the game. Just let me like explore, and if I go the wrong way, well, then I'll go the other way. But like I said, Pokemon is mostly geared towards kids, so it's gonna be a little bit more hand-holdy, I guess. Like I guess that's what I'd say. Like, shit, it's been a while since I played Sun and Moon, so I can't remember if that was kind of that way too or not. I just I don't know, it takes a little bit of the exploration aspect out when it's kind of like, okay, now go straight over here or here or here, instead of just kind of like hints where they're like, hey, maybe you should go over there, and then they leave you the fuck alone for like a few hours until you actually run into someone else. But yeah, like Pokemon Sword, it's good stuff. I like it. I mean, I've liked Pokemon overall, even like the weird little offshoots, like Pokemon Gale of Darkness on the GameCube. I did play through that one, and I did like it. It was very pretty for the time. Like, it was revolutionary, and honestly, it's kind of sad that that is a full-length game, I would say, but it's not. It still wasn't quite the Pokemon game we were looking for. I think Sword and Shield is what we were looking for. It's just, it's been quite a few years since then. Like, because Gale of Darkness was nice, but you went to different maps just to kind of walk around. There wasn't actual, like, full world exploration. It was more like a collection of maps you could go to fight people until you finally got to the end and got stuff, and then you got Shadow Lugia, and you could transfer it to Heart Gold or Soul Silver. I wonder if anybody has a Shadow Lugia still. I mean, they always made it a point to make it so you could keep like trading up to the next generation. But yeah. So yeah, that's my Monday manifest on Pokemon. I might go in more depth later on. I guess I'll just call this one more like Pokemon Sword and Shield, since that's primarily what I talked about. But I wouldn't mind going into more depth. It's just the fact is, if I went through like all of the Pokemon games I played and what I thought of them, we would be here just as long as the time I did the Final Fantasy Monday Manifest, which people might enjoy, but I can't be sitting around for an hour and a half doing that right now. But definitely a topic for the future. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you want. If not, I mean, that's cool too. But Also, since we're on the topic of Pokemon anyway, since that's a Monday Manifest, why don't you go ahead and drop your favorite generation of Pokemon and or your favorite Pokemon in the comments below? Because my favorite Pokemon, God, that's hard. There's a lot. Like, I know my favorite evolution is actually Leafeon. I really like Leafeon. Which makes me wonder if Eevee can evolve into every evolution. Probably. I have to look into that later for Sword. But yeah, I really like Leafeon. There's a few others I like. I know right now my favorite for Sword Shield. Man, well, I haven't really seen a lot, but I guess from the ones I've seen, it's between Corviknight and God, who the hell is on my team? I'm sorry. Like, I was just playing this game not even 3 hours ago, and I already forgot like who the fuck was on my team. Corviknight oh, probably between Corviknight and Sw+Sh. Like, Sw+Sh is actually pretty badass because his attack stat is crazy, and he crits like a motherfucker. But Corviknight is a pretty cool design overall as well. If you don't know that one, look it up, or if you don't want to spoil it, don't. But it's cool. But yeah, just let me know which ones you like in the comments below. But thank you so much for being here for this week's Monday Manifest, and I will see you guys next Monday. I hope you have a fantastic time of day. I really got to stop saying that. It's the middle of the night here right now, but yeah. See you guys later.